My name is Michael. I'm a writer. I'm going to be talking about writing with ADHD and basically my process of how I got from an outline to a 105,000 word first draft that isn't actually done yet, but it's almost done. So, know your routine. If you work 80 hours a week and you have 2 kids and you have no free time at all, this video is just not for you. But if you have free time, this is for you. I work 30 hours a week. I try to work out and I try to have a social life, but writing is definitely one of those things that takes up majority of my free time for 2 reasons. 1, because I love it, and 2, because I can't help it. I'm always thinking about it. So yeah, know your routine and know what days work, know what days don't. That's kind of what I do, is to make time and commit, even if it's for like 20 minutes. My advice is, if you struggle writing at home, go to the library. Go to a cafe. I've gotten like thousands and thousands of words written at a cafe or at a library. It's really good to have a little change of scenery, which takes me to my next point. Stay fit. Go on walks and get some sun, because that's the time where the ideas will come in. That's the time where your questions will be answered. There's been so many times where I'm in a conversation with someone and I just simply have to go, hey, I gotta go write. I'll be right back. I'll just write a summarized version. I'm like, okay, instead of this happening, they do this and they say this, which ends up sparking this other path down the line. And I'll just write down the most summarized version of that. And then that way, next time I go to write, I have something to write. And I think something that has also helped me a lot with writing this is that I had an outline. I outlined for a year or so before I started writing, because I wanted to make this giant universe with multiple books and eventually video games and comics and everything and movies. But I really wanted it to be thought out start to finish. Oh, hello. Because I had the outline, it really helped me with having something to write when I went to write. My next tip is to eat healthy. You have to eat healthy, Bootsy. It's important. That way you don't keep pooping in the kitchen. It's very important to eat healthy. I feel like it helps me so much with retaining and being able to focus when I actually want to write. Something that's been helping me is
green tea is what I've been doing lately, but I actually haven't been making the most progress with green tea. But I'm also at a point where I'm writing right now where I'm kind of taking a slight break, because I'm writing the resolution of the climax, which is now going slightly different than I originally imagined, or at least it's a conversation that's really difficult to write, so it's taking me some time.
little caffeine kick helps for sure. I don't know, it gets me wired, gets me in the zone. Have you seen caffeine under a microscope? That looks crazy. That's kind of how I feel when I write. Those lines, if I remember correctly, it's crazy. I don't know. It reminds me of the Vex from Destiny.
Editor Michael here. I'm realizing that I didn't actually talk about eating healthy at all, and I just talked about caffeine. Now, while caffeine can be good in moderation, try not to have too much. I'm not a nutritionist or anything like that, but when I say eat healthy, I mean bananas, fruits and vegetables and stuff, eat a good diet. It actually helps quite a bit with your brain.
My next tip is to take breaks. Let me go grab my tea. Take breaks. That's my next tip. Take breaks. I feel like it's kind of intuitive. If you're in a flow, let that flow. Let that thing go. Ride that wave. But if that wave starts to drop off, just take a break if you're not feeling it, and then come back to it. That's the key. Come back to it. You can't take a break forever, because then you'll never get anywhere. This is really rough right now. It's good tea. It's a little hot. On the same page of taking a break, you need to think about it. You need to think about it, Bootsy. It's important that you think about it, because I'm so congested right now. I'm so sorry. I probably should not be recording this, but I just really wanted to talk about this. It felt like a good day, because I don't know. I woke up and I really did not want to get any work done today. And yesterday I was thinking, today I'm going to get a lot of work done. Sunday I got nothing going on. I got the place to myself. I'm going to just grind. And I woke up and I was like, man, grinding sounds like the worst thing possible today. I just want to do nothing. The point of thinking about it, I feel like that helped me a lot in this, taking a break and thinking about it, because writing when you're unsure of what you're writing is such a bad idea, because you'll probably end up deleting it and you'll feel like crap because you wasted time writing something which is now deleted. You have to understand that what you're writing probably won't make it to the final draft, but it will get you closer to that final draft. Before I even started writing the first draft, something that really helped me was having a couple of writer friends, shout out Agosh and Noah, that are, in the game. I met them at college, and I was really struggling switching my style from a screenplay type of formatting to something that is more descriptive, like a book. Because with a script, if you're not familiar, you'll just say interior, hallway, day, and now you're in a hallway. With a book, you can't do that. You got to describe the hallway a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to have floating head syndrome, which is something I was struggling with for a bit, as well as just coming at it without any voice. What I would say in my screenplays is I'd be like, oh, Joanne walks down the hall. She opens the door, and then you have a line of dialogue for Joanne to say. Stop thinking about it. I feel like that also helps me a lot, is just to stop thinking about it, to just completely let it go. Just don't think about it at all. Literally let it fly away and be free. And I feel like the subconscious mind kind of takes over in those cases where, yes, you're not consciously thinking about it, but those ideas and those problems are being resolved internally. It gets answered. It makes sense. And I'll have a little bonus tip that isn't even on the flashcard here. Outline. Something that helped me with making progress is writing a very, 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 very bare bones draft that I label as a outline, but in reality, let me just give you an example, actually. I'm going to show you my very first draft, first couple chapters for the book I'm writing right now, which ends up being completely different. Well, not completely different, but there's a number of things that are different. Time for the first draft of the first outline of the first book. These are the first 7 chapters that I outlined so that I could start writing and actually have time planned to sit down and have something to write. Chapter 1. Felikir, 15, Jameis, 17, human supremacists that are on a bounty mission to take out a Selthian government official. Boom. We know the characters that are important. We know the objective. We know what they're doing. Now we can move on. Chapter 2. Felikir obtains a Caipiea, returns to team base. Now we know he obtained something. He returns to a team base. So now we know there's a team base. Now we have to build the team base when we're actually writing. Chapter 3. He tells them about the Caipiea. The Caipiea gives him details on a target that, if eliminated, will ensure victory of the human supremacists. So now with that chapter, I have to build a bunch of people inside of the team base, create some characters. From there, I can flesh out the room and how exactly they're treating this Caipiea that's being introduced and how they feel about Felikir being the one to obtain it. So already with the first 3 chapters, I could write for hours. I think it's because of that outline that I was able to make so much progress in my writing in such little time, because I always had something that I could write. Every time I sat down to write, every time I blocked out time to write, I had something in mind that I could already write. And usually before that time that I would go sit down, let's say it's Monday and I'm planning to write Wednesday afternoon, all Wednesday afternoon, I'm already looking at what my outline is. I'm already looking at what the next thing that I have to write is, and I'm thinking about it. I kind of see that as a first draft. I'm telling the story. I tell you what happens. I don't go into detail, but I tell you key events that happen. And if you wanted to go back and pause and read through all of it, you get a better idea of like where the point of no return is, where the stakes happen, where the main decision that the protagonist has to make is. But even with that, you can write a basic outline with that character-driven, planter-esque mindset, because you can still have something that's very bare bones. There's no need to go into extreme detail when you don't even necessarily know how the story is going to be panning out. You have to have those steps in mind. You have to have something to look at. Editor Michael here. I just wanted to add also that really rough 1-sentence outline isn't something that I kept consistent the entire time I was writing it. A lot of the times when I came up with an idea, I would also expand on each of those chapter sentences into multiple paragraphs, including more details, but not necessarily going to the point where it's pages and pages per chapter. Subscribe if you liked it, because this whole channel is going to be about me basically documenting my progress creating this sci-fi epic from scratch, because that's where it started. and that's not where it is anymore. I've got something I can show, but I am not even close to done. I don't even have the first draft done, so maybe I'll make a video when I'm done with that. All right, see ya. Thanks for watching.